Hey guys, it's Miss Tremblay here with your daily demo for our next watercolor project. So this is going to be the demo for the watercolor landscape that we are starting today. And today I am just going to show you laying out. So we're going to lay out with pencil for this one. I know we just did that sketching and we did not use pencil, but you can use pencil to lay this out. And I'll start off with like some tips and tricks for laying out, and then I will just have the rest of the video silent, so it'll be all fast forward so you can just see the process. And the instructional material should be the first like 5 to 10 minutes. So you're definitely going to need a photo. And I actually had to print mine out twice because it printed really dark the first time and cropped the photo, and then it printed really light the second time, and so it's going to be a combination of these two photos. The colors are a little more accurate here, but my values are a little dark in the bottom, so I'm using both as a reference. And I will go in and use pen with this at the very end. So the pen is going to be used to create a lot of the texture in the trees, and then you will want to use it in the sky. Just because if I only have it in the trees, it's going to look odd to not have any up in my sky. So I have a larger piece of watercolor paper. I did find my watercolor paper, and I am going to start with pencil. I'm using an HB. I would say if you don't press hard, try and use a harder pencil because you're going to get lighter lines. I definitely got very dark lines when I did my figure, but I'm thinking that because this is a landscape, I'm not going to have to make as many adjustments. So to start, because this is a skyline, I'm going to block in my skyline first, and I'm just going to block in where it starts and where it ends. So it starts a little bit more than halfway up and ends there. And then I'm going to block in my mountains and my trees, and then I'm going to block in my sky. So one of the things that I want you guys to keep in mind when you're doing this is that you don't want to go in and try to draw every single tree, because what is going to happen when you do that is you're going to have a ton of lines on your paper. You're never going to be able to get rid of all of them, and you're going to spend a ton of time trying to draw tiny little trees. So please don't do that. The idea with blocking in with pencil is just to give yourself some general guidelines for where major color changes happen. So to repeat, don't block in every single little tree with every single little branch. So one of the reasons that we're doing landscape for this project is that there's a lot more flexibility for making mistakes. You have a lot more leeway for making adjustments as you go. So I'm actually going to leave the back mountains off because I want to show you what I mean when I say don't draw every single tree. So I am drawing and losing track of where I am while I'm talking. I'm drawing a much more jagged outline as I get closer because I'm starting to be able to see the trees. And when I get down here into this section, which is all trees, I'm just going to draw where the tops of those mountains are, and that is it. So I am really just drawing this loose outline. I am not trying to make it exact. So that's all I'm going to draw for the trees. I might draw in that line right there because it does look like it's another mountain that's a little closer. But that's it. So I'm not going in and drawing every single tree. My other tip for you guys is to just go lightly and don't be afraid to make adjustments. Don't be afraid to erase as you are doing this. So like here I'm realizing that I made this a little too steep, and so then I moved this tree line down too far, and it's actually more like right here. So I'll go back in and erase and take care of that. So those are my tips for you when it comes to laying out. Light pencil, don't try to draw everything, and don't be afraid to make adjustments. But really this process shouldn't take you very long. So if you find that it's taking you hours and hours to just draw this out in pencil, you're getting bogged down in the details. All right, so that's it for the instruction, and I'm going to move on to finishing this layout.